it's a perfect segue to Fern. How did you meet, and what drew you to her, to Fern?
Well, Fern was a very significant part of my whole life. When I was in junior college, actually my first year in junior college, I was invited to go to a retreat conducted by the Bible class or Bible study group we had at the college. So I went on this weekend retreat. There were quite a few of us. We went up in the school bus, and we got up into Sequoia Lake and got there after dark. By the time we got there, it had started snowing, and we had to go up a trail to get to the lodge. And as I was going up the trail, a young lady fell down in front of me. I helped her get up and sort of helped her get up to the top of the hill. It was Fern. That's how we met. We spent that weekend together, and by the end of that week, we were holding hands, and that was the beginning of a beautiful life that lasted for 65 years.
So beautiful. Once you started getting to know Fern, what was it that made you want to continue dating her? What were her qualities?
Well, I sensed that she was on the same wavelength I was. She was a relatively new Christian, and when she knew that I was studying for the ministry, she was excited, because that seemed to be what she would like to be, a part of a ministry. Mm. But there's another side to that story. After I finished college in Berkeley, we had 2 years together. She was at San Jose State and I was in Berkeley, and we discussed our future, and we were definitely thinking about maybe we would end up together. And after I graduated from Berkeley, I continued my seminary training at Northern Baptist Theological Seminary in Chicago. And that's wrong.
That's okay. Cut that. So you had, okay, that's fine.
I met Fern when I was in junior college, my second year of junior college. So I had 1 year to spend in college with her.
Okay, 1 year.
Then, after I graduated from the local junior college, I had the privilege of going to Wheaton College. So I went to Wheaton College and leaving Fern at home with the idea that I was going to continue my studies for the ministry. In January of that school year, I attended a chapel service at the college in which there was an appeal made for people to go to South America as missionaries. Mm. South America was considered at that time the neglected continent as far as missions was concerned. And I sensed the Lord calling me into missions. Now I had a dilemma. I had this girlfriend who was willing to be in ministry, but to ask her to go to the mission field, that's another story. It was our custom to write letters to each other every day. And of course we didn't have telephones or anything like that in those days. So that night I went home and wrote my letter. I told Fern exactly what had happened and expressed my concern that maybe this would be difficult for her, but this is what I sensed God was calling me to do. I sent my letter and then waited to see what the answer was going to be. Well, a few days later, I received a letter from Fern. She had written a letter almost the same time, and she told me, without knowing about my letter, she told me about an experience that she had had. She'd gone to a mission meeting in Fresno and heard a missionary speaker, and she felt God calling her into missions. Our letters crossed in the mail. Talk about confirmation. It still brings tears to my eyes. But God is so good.
It's powerful. I love that.
You can't outgive God. The more you give, the more you get. And that was one of the most beautiful experiences I've ever had. And that was the groundwork for, 60 years of ministry, serving the Lord together in the U.S. and in Ecuador and in Mexico. We had a wonderful life.
So beautiful. Thank you.